Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hi, my name is Erica, and today I am going to be talking about another thing that the Dad Challenge podcast did. So if you don't know, I have a few videos now on the Dad Challenge podcast, but he is basically a YouTuber who makes content about family vloggers, and usually more often he makes sorry, I had to sit back a little. He makes videos about mommy vloggers, and he tends to be quite misogynistic.
Hang up the tramp stamp.
He tends to be ableist.
And Christian Horizons is a like, they have all these houses all over Ontario for people like Abigail, okay? For people who have low functioning living skills, right? They can't dress themselves, they can't shower, they can't feed themselves, they can't take
He tends to be racist. Sorry. YouTube doesn't like that word.
Stupid. It was dumb because we got lost in downtown Detroit. Don't ever get lost as white people downtown Detroit, okay? White boys.
as anyone, really.
As anyone, don't. And these guys pull up in this giant Tahoe or this big giant black, I don't know what it was, Escalade or something, roll down their window and look at us and they say, "What are you listening to?" We roll up our window and the highway was right at the next exit. We hopped on the highway and took off. We were like, I don't even know. And I don't even know. That was scary because we don't know anything because we're from Canada, man. We don't have that kind of stuff. And
he tends to be fatphobic.
Maybe you should conduct yourself to a gym. Start running.
And just a bunch of bigoted and gross things. So recently, he made a video about TikToker Maia, who I had no idea who she was before this, but she is a TikToker who has millions of followers, and she is about my age. She's 25 years old, and currently I'm 24, so we're very close in age, and she has twins, and she posts a lot about being a young single mom and having twins, and she also just posts a lot of like jokes and stuff like that. Like, she seems like a pretty average person in her 20s. I'm sorry, I have no idea what that noise is. I think it's the kids outside screaming. I cannot control that, so hopefully it's not too loud on here. But, so she posts, she likes to drink White Claws and stuff, and she seems like she's like a regular 20-something that likes to have fun, but she happens to have children. So Josh called her Trashy, and you know why he called her Trashy?
Oh.
And then you bust into the White Claws. I just
brushed my teeth, so it's disgusting. Well, I need a shower, obviously.
Yeah, you do. Inside and out.
Because she drinks White Claws and she has children. How dare she? Put down the White Claws, people. Especially if you're a woman and you have children and you are drinking a White Claw. Put that down right now. Because Josh thinks you're trashy. Now, how ridiculous is that? And I get that you don't want like a parent to be excessively drinking and not taking care of their children or being drunk constantly, but having a White Claw is like, I think it has less alcohol in it than a beer. Like, unless you're pounding back like 6 of those, you're not gonna get drunk on that. And even if she was, if she's having someone watch her children and she wants to go out and have fun, who the hell are you to call her trashy, to call her selfish, to call her a bad mother? He's making her out to be this wild party girl who can't control herself and is just pounding back the White Claws. You know, if it wasn't the middle of the day, I would be making this video while drinking a cocktail, just because Josh would think I was some trashy woman for doing that, even though I don't have children, thankfully. I do not want children. I have nothing against children. I'm not at a point in my life where I feel like I'm ready for that. But if you are and you have children, good for you. But I think it's really telling that Josh says this about women, but then when it's like Oscar from OK Baby, he's telling him to go out and have fun and get away from Kira because she's toxic. So a father is allowed to go out and enjoy himself, but if a mother does that, she's trashy and not a good mother. It's almost as if Josh is a misogynist. Maybe. I don't know. And one thing that really bothered me is, here is Josh, this man who says he has multiple children, sitting in his basement for hours. Every week he posts like a video a day, so he has to be down in his basement recording these videos for hours while his children and presumably their mother are upstairs. But that's not trashy, because men are allowed to have a life outside of their children. But God forbid a woman does. Oh my goodness. Oh, a woman drinking a White Claw. And now, mind you, I don't even like White Claws. I think they're frankly disgusting because I think seltzer itself is gross. So if you mix seltzer with alcohol, it doesn't make it any better. But if that's your beverage of choice, go ahead. As long as you're not making me drink it, because I think it's nasty. But I'm not going to call you trashy for that. But Josh is. And I just think that Josh has gone too far with his anti-family vlogging and anti-mommy vlogging, because yeah, maybe Maia should not be putting her children on the internet, but the thing is he's not just criticizing that, he's criticizing her drinking, he's criticizing her taking a pregnancy test, because God forbid women have sex when they're not married. What? Sex? We don't do that here.
I'm pregnant.
Not pregnant.
We're Gucci.
We're Gucci. Not pregnant. We're Gucci. Like in the woods doing a pregnancy test, like, cheers. How about, you've got twins right now. Why don't you just take some responsibility and just chill for a little while? I know people are going to come at me. Don't tell people what to do, man. If you're going to be a mom and you're going to be an influencer, maybe just be a little bit more responsible. Because it sounds like you're going to be going through this a lot. So maybe just use...
Like, he really loves to mostly tear women down, and sure, he'll do it to a man here or there, but he likes to make fun of the way women look, the way they talk, if they have sex, if they drink, if they have a night out while their children are being watched by someone. Because you know what, Josh? You clearly don't watch your children 24/7, So why should a woman have to watch their children 24/7? Is that what you expect of your wife? Do you confine her to the home and say you must watch the children 24/7 while I have my life and run my YouTube channel and have a job? I sure hope not, but God knows, I don't know how Josh acts in his personal life. Frankly, I don't want to know. Because if it's anything like he acts on the internet, he's not a wonderful person. But again, that's just my opinion. I don't know. Any man who's sitting in his basement and is disparaging women for stupid, minuscule reasons is not somebody worth listening to, in my opinion. And I know people are going to be like, well, you make everything about gender. But it's like, it's true. Half the time he doesn't drag the men in these family vlogging channels the same way he drags the women. And also it's not lost on me that he really likes to cover mommy vloggers who tend to, and I'm not gonna use this as like a blanket, everybody in this community is like this, but mommy vloggers tend to feature their kids on their channels and their TikToks and whatnot a lot less than family vlogging channels do. Like, family vlogging channels are all about the children. That's the whole point of their channel. But with mommy vloggers, it tends to be a lot of like house cleaning and shopping and just having a conversation and being like a support to other women in that situation. And while it's not the content that I personally like to consume, there are a lot of people out there that seem to really enjoy it. So I'm not going, if it's not harming anybody, I'm not going to sit here and knock it. But Josh does. I think, and one thing that really got me in this video, and I probably should have said this earlier, but I didn't take notes for this. I wanted to just do it off the cuff and just say what I felt. But one thing that really bothered me about Josh's video is he talked about his own trauma with his mother, and
Maybe, again, it's my trauma speaking. My mom refused to grow up and be a mother. She wanted to do what she wanted to do, and that meant abandoning me so many times. She came first over my entire life till I left when I was 16. My mom put herself first. Always. Other people in my family, I don't want to mention names, put themselves first over their children. People that I know. When you put yourself over your children, like a lot of these single moms, young single moms do, you are not worthy of the title. You don't get it. You don't get my respect, and you shouldn't get respect of anybody else.
I want to be clear here that I feel for Josh that he had to go through that, and I think it's something he needs to talk about and make videos about, maybe go to therapy for, because lots of people should go to therapy. Let's end the stigma with therapy, but let's also make it more accessible. But that's not what this video is about. But Josh is projecting his feelings about his own mother onto Maia. So when he sees Maia drinking a White Claw, he sees a woman who's neglecting her children. But just because one woman did that to you, it doesn't make all women that have a drink once in a while bad, neglectful parents. And to think in such a way, you are a misogynist, because you're using your own personal issue with one woman in your life, or from the sounds of it, multiple women, because he said he's had multiple women in his life like this, and you're using it to paint a narrative about an entire gender, and not just an entire gender, but a gender that tends to be discriminated against. And that's what misogyny is. And I don't think it's fair to use your experience with your mother to then be like, oh, Maya's having a White Claw, or she's going out with her friends this weekend, or she's taking a pregnancy test and celebrating that it's negative, so she is this way. Because you don't know Maya personally. I don't know Maya personally. Most people who follow her don't know her personally. It seems like she's a good mother. I don't know, so I cannot say for sure. But I just don't like that Josh seems to not have unpacked his trauma and not have dealt with his trauma, because it's coming out in very negative ways and in ways that harms people and harms women. Like, I would not want to be a woman in this man's life, because then I'll think any misstep, anything he even perceives to be the wrong thing to do, and I'm gonna be painted as this evil woman who's manipulative and is cold, because let's face it, Josh he puts more pressure on women to be these perfect, nurturing, like, maternal figures than he seems to put on men. And I'm not saying that he's a bad parent, because I don't know what he's like in his children's life. He says he's a good parent, so I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I would not want to be a woman in a man like that's life, because I would feel like I had to be perfect. And the irony there is that, and this is something I've said in a previous video, but that Josh once said that the reason he disparages and knocks a lot of these mommy vloggers is because he thinks it sets an unrealistic standard for the women watching. So he wants to show the women watching his channel that these women that they look up to are not actually perfect, so they don't have to fit that standard. Why?
Allows you guys to realize, stop comparing yourself to these damn people. They're fake. Everything about them is fake. Every absolute little thing about them, right down to their effing eyelashes, is fake. So why do you stand these people? Why do you watch them? Why do you compare yourself to them?
While at the same time, he's constructing this equally unrealistic standard, but it's in a different way. Like, his standard is you have to have like a natural body, like no plastic surgery, no Botox, no fake eyelashes. You have to always be there for your children no matter what. God forbid you need to have like some time to yourself and have somebody watch your children. Don't you dare. And you have to be smart, and you have to not post pictures of yourself on social media, because that's vain, and you're clearly an airhead who's insecure. So looking for other people's approval. I mean, the things he says about women and the things he said about women over the last year or so that he's had his channel, when you put them all together, like if I made a compilation of Josh the way he made a compilation of APOC saying disgusting things about women and Josh, it would look equally as disgusting as his video on APOC. And I'm not here to defend APOC. I do not agree with the things APOC said. But Josh has said similar things, and I could make a compilation of that. I don't want to. I have no desire to make a compilation of all the disgusting things Josh has said about women, because I feel like it would put me in a very negative headspace if I had to consume a lot of that content and then put it all together. But I mean, if you really wanted to, you could. And my point in saying that is that Josh has created this unrealistic standard, this like ideal woman that doesn't exist. Spoiler alert, nobody is perfect. Hannah Montana once said that, Josh. The reason I said Hannah Montana is because I feel like he looks at me as like this young child who's inexperienced and doesn't know shit. But anyway, as the great philosopher Hannah Montana once said, nobody is perfect. So let's stop creating these unrealistic standards for people and realize that you're going to fuck up in life. But as long as you're trying your best and then learning from your previous mistakes and moving forward, then you're just doing what you're able to do. And that's just life. And that's the end of this video. If you learned something or if you somehow enjoyed hearing me talk, please give this a big thumbs up. And if you have not already and you would like to see more of my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. On the end screen coming up here, there will be a video that's recommended for you and a playlist of my social commentary videos, and also a button to subscribe. So look out for that if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.